Next session is actually one of the fun ones, and we get another demo, what's actually happening in the marketplace, companies implementing. One of our work group chairs, Chris Lambrou, is gonna lead off. He's one of those work group chairs. He's been working on this for us for a long time as a volunteer, and it's exciting to see it in the marketplace. So Chris, come on up, please.
All right, thanks everybody. I brought some baggage with me today. No kidding. These guys are awesome. I'm Chris Lambrou, chair of Internet Tracking, as Sam mentioned. We've been published since Data Dictionary 1.6. We'll talk a little bit about the focus of our work group, but today as well, we're gonna give a little bit of a demo of internet tracking in the real world actually being used. So without further ado, we have some guests here. So I'd like you to maybe one by one introduce yourselves, tell everybody where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Hi, folks. I'm Alex Theg. I'm a product manager for APIs with FBS. So I'm down from Davis, California, right outside Sacramento.
Awesome.
Cesar Macias from RPR's product team, director of product management. Been with RPR about 7 years and based out of Irvine.
Shawn Meissner, QA manager at RPR. Been there about 9.5 years. Based out of Northwest Arkansas.
These guys are superheroes for the work group and for the pain points that we have in implementation. So I thought that some of the work they've done in the last few months have been great. I do have a deep psychological question, though, for each of you. We'll start with Cesar. Cesar, I was looking through your LinkedIn profile. I didn't even know you could go 12 pages on that thing, but it mentions somewhere that you don't use a barber. Is that
I don't
true?
what?
You don't use a barber?
I don't, I'm too cheap. I've been cutting my hair since I've been 13.
Cesar, he has a luscious, beautiful head of hair, and of course, I'm completely jealous. So I think, and I'm more about equality, so I think, Cesar, I'm gonna go to the barber maybe once a year, even though I don't really have to kind of equal it out. You think that's cool?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, thanks. Shawn, tell us a little bit about something you're streaming these days. What kind of shows are you watching? Anything good?
Yeah, we're doing, my wife and I do Yellowstone. So that's like the one that we'll sit down and watch together. So we're just,
very cool.
You know, waiting.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that.
Yeah, we've done all three of them. We've watched through all three.
What's that on? What
we do it on Peacock.
Peacock. You know, Netflix is in the news for kind of changing their passwords, and I found that kind of ironic. You wouldn't know anything about that, right?
Oh, not me.
Okay.
No way.
No. I find it ironic because in this industry, we talk a lot about real estate professionals sharing passwords, yet I know pretty much like everyone in my world that does that for Netflix and other things.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, a great poet once said, I'm looking at the man in the mirror and asking him to change his ways, something. If you want to change the world, make a better place, look at yourself, something like that. I mean, it kind of, you know, I don't know, that's kind of fun. Anyways, Alex, real quick question for you. Do you like cilantro?
Do I like Sinatra?
Cilantro or Sinatra?
Cilantro. I do. Both. I do like cilantro, yeah.
Is that a California thing?
I think it's a genetic thing. But yeah.
I read that some people who don't like cilantro, it is a genetic thing, and it tastes like
Sister-in-law.
soup. Yeah. So I'm on this quest to try to help that portion of the world because cilantro is so awesome, right? Can we all agree on cilantro? Thank you. Yay for cilantro. Maybe we can call this project Code Cilantro. Oh, sorry, I should have done that. That's what we all look like on LinkedIn world. Okay, we're the Internet Tracking Group, and every time we present, I kind of want to talk a little bit about what we do. And you can see this little handy graph here. The theme is get the data back to where it wants to belong. In the middle, we have, you know, this, I guess I don't have a pointer, but we have this really cool server web API stuff. That's where the data source comes from. We all know that, right? And we're pushing it out. We're leveraging RESO standards, right? The community of RESO and the open source nature of it to make that life easier for all stakeholders, right? RPR, you know, all these other FBS, everybody out there, third-party sites, IDX sites, showing solutions, rating agent products, which I still want to see take off, I guess, someday. So that's actually working great, but it's kind of a one-sided relationship, right? the data coming back is kind of not there. And that's kind of the pain point of our work group, is trying to leverage RESO to normalize that information in a simple format that can be sent back to where it came from, so that stakeholders can take that information and do things with it, make important decisions. Relate that information to the rightful owner, the brokers, the agents, the consumers that really need that information. I really sucked creating this slide. I should have made that bottom disappear with a dramatic button press so that you could see it's only half the picture, but next time. But yeah, it's a one-sided conversation. It's a one-sided relationship. What one-sided relationships work, I'm a diehard Cubs fan, and that's a one-sided relationship. Every spring training, I think we're going to win the World Series, and I end up crying in my beer in October. So that's our goal. That's our quest. You guys are there. You can kind of take the reins and help in your localities and make this happen. We're going to talk a little bit today about something we did at Metro MLS in beautiful Wisconsin to try to tackle that issue and get that data back where it once belonged. We did something called the Pixel Project. If you know anything about tracking, getting that data from when something is viewed on the web can be a multitude of different ways. Something that probably started early was a pixel image. And the good thing about a pixel image, if you know anything about HTML, sorry, it's like they're teaching it in 6th grade now, so I think it's time a little bit. But whenever you look at an image on a website, it's an image tag. And that tag has been around since the beginning of HTML. And we're kind of just leveraging the simplicity of standards that have existed for eons. That's the beauty of the Pixel Project that I'm about to talk to you about. It's all about simplicity. I love simplicity. This is a little bit of an early 2000s style graph that I created. It's like my thing, I guess, where you could kind of see what this is. The pixel image has a lot of cool back-end data. It's called response and request and all that stuff that uses HTTP, something that's been around forever too, that just basically gets stored in a database where it can be used in a dashboard tool, kind of like what I'm showing there. That's the whole concept, the whole simple concept of a pixel image. A couple of quick pointers here with the image tag. It can be transparent, right? That's kind of cool. That means that the consumer, when they're viewing, it doesn't get in the way of whatever they're trying to look at. The requests are logged on a web server. That's the key. It's all done ahead of us. There's nothing we have to do. The forefathers that created HTML, HTTP have thought about this. That's the key point there, too, that we can take advantage of. URLs in an image tag can include parameters. That's really big. These guys are going to talk a little bit about that and how we use that. That's other information that's irrelevant to whatever picture you're looking at, whatever Travis Kelce image looking at his girlfriend, whatever that is. There's more than that we can record than the image. Tags are asynchronous. That's a super fancy way to just say that it doesn't affect the loading of your Kansas City Chiefs website, or since I'm on that, I might as well go with it. And the source can be cross-origin, meaning when you go to reso.org, the picture you're looking at can be at metromls.com. That's kind of cool. Now, there's complexities as we grow with data privacy that get in the way, right? Or make things a little bit more transparent, which is a good thing, and we can work around that. All right, back to the Pixel Image Project. These are some of the companies that are working. A little bit of background. We've had this project going for 7 years at Metro MLS. We've been storing this data for about 7 years and compiling it. There's a lot of local practitioners that are taking advantage of it, but there's a few that are national, and they're represented on the screen that are helping us. Metro MLS up there, FBS, RPR, Triangle MLS as well is using this, as well as Constellation One has been helping us on our public-facing website. Yes, we have one of those for a long, long time, and we've been using the pixel there forever. This is a little bit of another 90s, 2000 diagram that kind of explains the idea. The consumer's looking at a listing, and the right side kind of shows the pixels on all these websites, and taking that data back to some ominous matrix-looking data center that's going to do some terrible things now. But that's kind of the idea. Getting end-user activity, viewing things is interactive. It's something that can continuously work behind the scenes, get that information back where it belongs. And this is the actual database that we have. This is real data. And this has a lot of information. This is all from a pixel on a web page. There's MLS IDs, right? It's a really important thing. We can get URLs. This all depends on the user's data privacy settings, of course. The stamp, which is an event stamp. Sorry, I should have. Hope Rob Larson isn't here. I should have used the data dictionary name there, but if we ever pushed it out, we will use event stamp. And really important stuff is kind of the user agent. And this type of information can be commingled in other data that you collect. Remember, a data source provider is kind of like an open house of information coming from many different levels and different products. And a lot of this can be used in that realm. This is the dashboard. We haven't really released this yet. It's probably going to be Q1 next year, but this is the dashboard that we've been looking at internally for a while that takes that information that we've been collecting with that fancy-dancy pixel and brings it out. You can see this in other products as well. It's pretty convenient. There's a nice little picture of the world there where we put a little dot where the users are from. We find that's kind of cool and important. Besides the pixel, there's another API tool that if you're into webhooks like we just saw, great demo, guys, you can just use an API as well and not have to mess around with that sixth grader HTML stuff we talked about. So that's a little bit of a look at what that call would look like. And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, sorry guys, I'm going to leave you hanging. We tried to put together a video, a demo of the pixel in action. In the spirit of presentations, we hope to God this works. And it does. So if you watch quickly, this is our favorite RPR user going in and apparently trying to find a listing. Oh, I have a feeling I have to press click again, and this is where it goes bad. Yeah. Yes. Keep an eye on that image. So the user looking at this beautiful home, $900,000. There's our dashboard. The user's updating it. And it's letting them know that that listing is viewed. At the bottom of it, we kind of do a courtesy, most currently viewed, and taking them right back to the listing. So it's pretty quick. It's pretty convenient. There's no loading issues. You can continue to watch this as much as you'd like. It's available on CD, if you're DVD, if you'd like. Cesar's going to be selling them in the lobby with RPR key logos. And on the right is the mobile app, the RPR mobile app. Same thing. Actually, they aren't using the pixel in the mobile app. They like using the API to deliver that information. It's being recorded in real time to our end users in the dashboard. We create this little client report in the dashboard just to give them a little bit sense of home when they want to do a little bit more research. This is an ever-growing organic experience that will grow and grow as time moves on. But it's a very simple project, and that's kind of the key. And it works. It delivers us the information to let us know the activity we're getting from all these practitioners. So, all right. With that said, I thought we'd take a second and kind of talk to everybody about how the project went. So, Alex, can you tell everybody maybe something about how implementation went, maybe cost and scalability and stuff like that?
Of course, yeah. So we've implemented the pixel. Obviously we provide Flex MLS for Metro MLS. In the past couple of weeks, we've been working with Chris and have implemented the pixel, to report back consumer views of listings. I think it's probably fair to say, Chris, that I was a little bit overzealous in the initial implementation. Because Chris said, well, why don't we introduce this to the portals? And we ended up putting it on portals, and every consumer view of the listing we could think of, our IDX links, the email links, things like that. But that actually led to a really nice opportunity where Chris said, well, why don't I just give you a couple more pixels? You can use these different pixels in these different parts of your system. And so we're now up and running with 3 pixels that can provide back not only listing data or listing views by consumers in the aggregate, but give more information, more granularity about how the consumer is viewing that listing. So up next, we're looking at turning that on for our mobile products. But that was, I can confirm, a very lightweight implementation, quick to implement. We were able to log it on our side so that we see the same tracking data that we're reporting back. Makes troubleshooting easy. Yeah, anytime we can provide that kind of granular data back to our MLS partners, that's a win for us. It's very exciting.
Yeah, what Alex explained to there is what I call a happy accident. He turned the pixel on pretty much everywhere in FBS world, and my network engineer called me and said, we're getting attacked. Something's happening. Excuse me, and I said, no, that's our MLS vendor. That's okay. And then we realized that volume was pretty cool, and we were able to parse it out now and not only get a metric on being viewed in the MLS system and in the consumer portal, but also email as well as IDX. That's such a valuable thing. So the future of that dashboard I showed you will expand. The future of the usability of this data will grow. Yeah, that was a really cool, happy accident. So,
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Ooh. Cesar, do you want to, maybe you and Shawn want to chat a little bit about the project with RPR?
Yeah, so when you approached us about doing a POC for the Pixel, we thought this would be a good opportunity because if it had success, then it's one less thing that we have to build, right? We want to avoid having to collect all this data in-house, store it, and then serve up an API for our MLS partners to pull back, right? So I mean, this is low-hanging fruit, is the way we looked at it. We have a website, as you saw in the demo. We also have a mobile app. The implementation on the website was easy peasy, less than 30 minutes of work from the dev side. And on the mobile app, we opted for an API, just because we didn't want to wrap the pixel. We wanted to do it a little bit more native. And again, another like 30-minute of dev time. And yeah, we didn't have any problems. Shawn will talk about like testing because we wanted to make sure, it was secure and safe, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, one of the things too, that remember, all this is going through, the pixel is just one way to transfer this information, but it's all being stored and can be represented in the RESO standard format that we have at Internet Tracking. So it's expandable and scalable, and yeah, it was really cool that you guys implemented it. And Shawn, you want to talk a little bit about some of the hard testing that you had to do for this, the sweaty day, the long nights and the hours of caffeine?
Yeah, like 12-hour days testing the implementation. No, we worried about three key things. One, did it work? Does it actually, you hit a listing on mobile or website, and does it actually go back over? And Chris could see it in his database, which worked fine. Second thing we worried about is did it affect performance on our website or mobile app? We didn't want to degrade our performance, so we tested that. We load tested, and really there was no change. And then, the third time was kind of defensive testing. Chris took the API down. We, clicked on a listing, made sure that, there was no error messages or anything that would come up to the consumer on both the website and mobile app. And then he brought it back up, and we tried it again, and things were logging as normal. But we wanted to just make sure, while we were implementing this, that there was, nothing that was going to affect our users, badly. So, awesome. But it was, really easy to test with. Great working with you. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Don't worry, we'll send the checks later. Okay, that's great. And shout out to Kristen, by the way, at RPR, fighting the fight out there and watching online. Go, Kristen. Cesar, you want to talk a little bit about? Do you want to talk a little bit about, just if you think about this, this works. This brings the data back to where it belongs, so that stakeholders can just get such important information on it. The web view is the beginning of the transaction, folks, and it's with the showing information. Those two together, married together, is so important, especially as this market changes and morphs into whatever it is. How do you think, if this grows and grows from, what do you see, like, if other organizations want to use it? I mean, what kind of pain points do you imagine coming your way? Yeah,
so we started obviously like with your MLS and your tracking pixel, and then our industry relations team reached out to us about Triangle MLS, and they piggybacked off your implementation. So in our URL or API, what we send back is the organization's ID, like the org ID. and we use the RESO org ID that's published on the site. And then we pass obviously the listing ID, and then if it's mobile or web because we're using the API or the tracking pixel, right? And so that was great, just having to just send a different org ID, right? For the different. So coding-wise, we just say, if the listing's from this org, then fire off this API call or include this tracking pixel. I think that where we'll run into like some problems or complexity is, there's like 600 MLSs, right? So like if everybody has their own tracking pixel, now we have to say if this org now use this different tracking pixel.
That's a future problem, right?
Right. So, the first day I was like, yeah, this is like really easy to spin up another MLS and just add to this, which I brought up like, hey, it'd be great if like a vendor did this and we all use just one, URL for everybody. Right. Yeah.
I like that idea too. So yeah, that's a great idea that somebody could champion the effort to store this information, maybe some third party, some independent. I don't know, that's a great idea. Otherwise, you might have little pockets of implementing. We all do tracking in our own way, shape, and form. Take a look at the spec. There's a summary as well that we'd like people to start implementing where you just record the data wherever you want. Just create an API that we can ping that gives us the data in the fields that we've defined, summarized. And I think that that's another solution down the road as well. So, but
yeah,
cool.
Also, I'll just call out that, as we're working on this and, we do participate in the internet tracking work group. We do a lot of our analytics in-house through GA4. We also have other, user engagement products that we, fire off events and whatnot, that you create user segments and stuff like that. And I did an idea that crossed my mind where it'd be great if the internet tracking, product was an SDK that we could install.
Right. All these other popular SDKs, like you're mentioning, Google Analytics, Amplitude's my favorite today, but we could build these shareable schemas, so to say that people could just drop in their Google Analytics, it'll start spitting out our standard analytics so that others can just ping onto it. That's another great idea. Yeah. It's almost like you're taking over the entire group with your great ideas, and that's going to be in our next meeting. Well, anyways, that's great chat. We're on yellow right now, which tells me that red's coming. I don't know what the deal is, but I wanted to take a quick second to kind of just have some fun. Part of our problem in our journey with internet tracking is just explaining to constituents the value of this information. In some cases, consumers get it a little bit more than the agents, which is a little sad. So I thought it'd be kind of cool if we just took a look at historic events and just decided if internet tracking could help in that area or some type of tracking. So we're going to swipe right if we could help, swipe left if not. Very simple. Okay, the first one is sell real estate. So I thought, anybody chime in, grab a mic if you'd like. Internet tracking, can it help sell real estate? I believe yes. Understanding where your data, your listing is being viewed, at what time, by what region is invaluable. Anybody here have any thoughts on this? Or?
Oh, absolutely, it would be valuable.
Right, so we swipe right?
Yep.
All right, we got a time component here so we can't have as much fun. Protect MLS data. Good old MLS data, we talk about it all the time and how crappy it is, right? That seems to be the theme. But we want to protect it, right? I think tracking can be definitely something. As you saw in the demo, we're pulling, in some cases, depend on the data privacy, the URL of where it was stored. Imagine photos that have tracking pixels on them, where that's shared and viewed can give back information to where it belongs. I think we swipe right here.
Yep.
Right? No comments? How about moon mission in Apollo 11? Could the internet tracking, could it help here? Was there any tracking here, do you think? That anybody see the movie with Ron Howard and whomever?
It never happened.
Could prove that they actually went.
We got to use our imagination here, people. I know we're hungry.
That was in a warehouse.
That's what I was going to say. They must have used tracking in some cases. Even somebody using a telescope probably watched it as it went. I'm guessing that was a form of tracking. I'm going to say tracking helped here as well. Woodstock 99. There's a great Netflix video on this. It was chaos, man. It is an example of just American corporate greed, a complete lack of planning, that just hot weather. It just was horrible. Alex, do you think Woodstock 99 could have used the Pixel to help at all? Or?
A little too young for me to go myself, but yeah, who knows?
That's it.
I mean, it seems like that was irredeemably poorly planned, but I don't know.
Well, now he's making me feel old.
I know.
Right?
That was not expected. That was awesome. I think tracking could have helped. It could have tracked. One of the chaos problems was they used subcontractors for the garbage. If they would have tracked the location of the subcontractors and noticed that they were messing around, some were coming to the festival and just having fun and not picking up garbage, which led to a lot of this ridiculousness. I think so. I'm going to swipe right. So somebody tell me if I'm wrong. What about the slap? Cesar?
I don't think so. He's swiping left.
No. Maybe if we would have monitored Will's phone and realized he was kind of trolling Chris Rock for some other reason. Or what about a mood ring? Everybody remember mood rings? Alex, I know it's before your time. They monitor your mood. Why can't, if he was wearing a mood ring, he's coming at me and I watch it and I see it's red. Well, that's kind of tracking. All right, we'll swipe left, fine. Taylor Swift tickets, yeah, I think, what do you think, Shawn? Could tracking have helped this ridiculousness of overpricing? I mean, it seems like a softball.
Yeah, I guess it could have.
Yeah. Is Taylor Swift in your generation there, Alex?
That's
I
all
do know
him.
about her. I do know about her, yeah.
This one's too complicated, but I just wanted to say this can never be redone in 2023. If Disney ever gets the idea, it won't work because the mom could easily just track my iPhone. The sister's jealous. She's going to be jealous whatever century we're in. And the principal's a jerk. But, I think tracking would definitely have worked here. We're going to swipe right. Bill Gates is his IBM agreement, I mean, he realized that IBM was selling these PCs like hotcakes, and being part of that PC movement would lead to sales and growth. I mean, I think the tracking was very important to his, anybody want to swipe left? I mean, I'm swiping right. The wardrobe malfunction, I don't think we're going to help on this one. But we could go back and see when that happened using tracking. Finding Dr. Evil, Shawn, you're the movie buff.
I'm not the movie buff. I think that's Cesar. But yeah, I think the tracking pixel would have helped him.
Right.
Would have helped him.
You got it. I love it. And come on, this is so easy. If you're living in a digital world, you could literally put the tracking pixel, that Metro MLS, this silly little thing, you could put it anywhere. How could we not put it on this virus named Agent Smith and track him? I'm going to swipe right. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. Godfather, too complicated, running out of time. Declaration of Independence, we're not really that. Skywalker family drama. The pixel is great. And, RESO has a lot of great initiatives. I love the data dictionary. I mean, it's one of my favorite things ever, but I don't think that's solving Woodstock 99. I think that the tracking pixel and internet tracking can actually, as we're trying to demonstrate, can be, can be used and is something that's bigger. But one thing the tracking pixel can't do is DNA evidence. So yeah, Luke's gonna have to figure that out some other way. Can the tracking pixel help us like this Billy Joel song that everybody hates? We didn't start the fire, Cesar. I'm going to swipe left. I don't think anything's going to help us get this annoying song.
He's no Sinatra.
No, it's supposed to not. Can the pixel help Wilson be a real person? We already proved it can't do DNA. I don't think it can. Oh, we're in the red. We got to roll. And then lastly, Ken's ultimate quest. The pixel, can it help Ken with his meaningful relationship? Yeah, of course the pixel could help, right? It could track Barbie's favorite locations, favorite dining spots, and then he could trick her. But honestly, is deceit something you can build a meaningful relationship on? So I'm going to swipe left on this.
Yeah,
what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Didn't see the movie. Internet tracking, we meet every other month on a Wednesday. We'd really like you to participate and help us. Be the stakeholder, be the leader in your locality on what we're trying to do here. Bring this to your members, bring this to your leadership, and kind of expand, and let's help the industry on all of this. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate your times. And thanks for this esteemed staff. Really appreciate it.